Thanks for staying with us. Now, what is Mmiri that has thrown the Southeast into chaos? It's a hard drug called methamphetamine, or meth for short. It is called Mmiri or ice in local parlance because it looks like ice block. It is also called Guzoro because of euphoria effects one gets after taking it. Now, according to Wikipedia, this drug is a potent central nervous system stimulant that is mainly used as a recreational drug and less commonly as a second-line treatment for attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and obesity. Now, the U.S. National Institute on Drug Abuse described this drug as a powerful, highly addictive stimulant that affects the central nervous system. It takes form of a white, odorless, bitter-tasting crystalline powder that easily dissolves in water or alcohol. It is believed that the energy that will power Nigeria into a prosperous future will come from her teeming, vibrant youth. However, with a worrisome escalation in the rate of drugs abuse in the country, this generation of youth may not live to achieve their God-given potential. So how then do we stop this menace from happening? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. I'm going to bring in our guest in a minute or two. I just want to hear your thoughts on drugs. When you saw those videos, I mean, I saw very alarming and sickening videos online and different things, and I hear that this is not even like
the deluge.
This is not even the beginning. I mean, it's been on for such a long time. I don't even know how to pronounce these things because I don't know them.
Precisely.
Right?
I think the thing that's most disturbing is that it's not just about the fact that we have young men taking these drugs. We have young women also indulging in these drugs to curb some sort of pain or whatever the thing that they're trying to achieve with it. And to me, the only thing that can actually curb this rise and menace in the society called drug abuse is for us to have a healthy society where we have individuals being aware of the effects of drug abuse in the society.
I agree with Issy. I mean, it's becoming a huge burden, not just in Nigeria. This is a global problem. Drugs have been, and they will still be, but the effect and the discovery of even newer types and even more potent types continue to make it a dangerous threat to the future of any people.
Yes.
And in this case in Nigeria, I'm hearing that in the East, it has become a pandemic, so to speak.
So that's why we have, what's it called, the youth leader in Awka here. Ebelechukwu Igboekunie Ngini is an unapologetic Igbo advocate for good governance and accountability from the power brokers, whether religious, political, or social. A youth leader, a public affairs analyst, a social commentator who believes that the solution to the Legion of Africa's problem must be indigenous. Now, he's a mass communication graduate from Anambra State University, and he's also the founder of the movement of grassroots governance. And we also have with us Keji Hamilton. He's the founder of Global Center for Drug Eradication Nigeria, a registered NGO with the Corporate Affairs Commission. He's also project director of House of Joy Rehabilitation Center, a 45-bed capacity inpatient drug treatment facility. He's also a clergyman, and he's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Keji. And thank you, Ebelechukwu. Let me come to Ebelechukwu. Could quickly give us a rundown on the situation currently happening in the East. You just break it down for us and let us know what the situation is.
Good evening. This issue of Mkpulumili or meth, it is a meth.
Oh wow, did we lose him? Okay, this is why we run away from technology. Let me hear you, Keji. Thank you so much for joining us while they try to reconnect back to Ebelechukwu. Thank you so much. So what's the situation? Because, I mean, we had a conversation backstage, and you were saying that this meth has been a menace in Lagos for a very long time.
True.
It's just going into the east now.
True.
So tell me, what exactly is this? How can people take things that would actually destroy their brain cells and you're still taking it?
The first thing is that people don't just do drugs. Drug is a result of people going through emotional stress or psychological problems. You know, when people have psychological pains, they need to kill those pains. And one of the things they use is drugs. One of the things they use is drugs. And we talk about psychological problem. Our country, the system and all that, there's a lot of psychological problem facing, especially the youth. Okay, think about somebody that gets into the university is to do a course of 4 years, but because of strike, he's done 6 years already and all that. He gets depressed. While others are in school, private schools, is at home sitting. The next thing is to take a journey into drugs. So these are some of the things that make people go into drugs. And talking about crystal meth, well, crystal meth is an illegal type of methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is actually a medicine. Crystal meth is a recreational drug. It's illegal, and it's used on the street, produced by the street, made from over-the-counter medicine mixed with certain chemicals like iodine crystals, popularly called red phosphorus. So it's not an organic drug, it's a synthetic drug. That's why the effect is so devastating. However, I'm just shocked that they are just making noise about crystal meth now. Because I know about 7 years ago, thereabout, there was a time that they busted about 2 laboratories of crystal meth in Lagos. I think one in Enugu and one in Abuja, and then everything went silent. So I'm surprised. In Lagos, it has done great harm, a whole lot of young people in different places in Lagos, from the mainland to the island, to Lekki, to Banana Island. You know, it's just everywhere. But you see, the thing still remains that people need to be informed. But at times, some information we pass across do not inform, they destroy. Just talking about the effects of drug alone can actually not help. Because when you talk about effects, those who are matured will be scared. The younger ones will want to experiment. Because that's
it
how
creates curiosity.
Yes, curiosity, because that's how the brain of teenagers are wired. They want to find out. So that's why we have discovered that the best way to curb this, first of all, is to teach the younger ones life skills that will bring about prevention. What is that? Life skills that will make them not to go into drug use. Okay, and it's possible. And you know, these young people, they have 2 places of learning, the home and the school. So when you talk about that, you find out that the average Nigerian man or woman does not even know anything about drugs.
Like me, like I'm so clueless.
You understand? You understand? So it's going to take a whole lot of training and whatever. And like I always say, I always try to give things that can be done, you know. Our religious houses, our schools, whether Christians, Muslims, they should get people that will come and equip the youth about, teach them how to make the right choices, how to make the right decisions, how to learn to say no, how to believe in themselves, how to get out of low self-esteem, because these are all the things that make people do drugs, you know. Because when somebody suffers from low self-esteem and somebody tells him, okay, if you take drugs, you'll be bold and that.
Cool.
I just remember when I was growing up that we have a friend that could not, stand up to girls. And then one of us just suggested that, man, if you take this thing,
You'll be all right.
and this guy just,
You'll
this
be
is a
bold
guy that
enough.
cannot even look at a girl's face. By the time he took 3 puffs of weed, he did not even talk to the girl, he just grabbed the girl. So you see, so there are different reasons why people go into drugs, okay? So I still believe that information, not information like you are trying to tell people this is the name of social drugs, these are the effects. They can see the effects. Now, let's put it this way. When you try to tell a young person that drug can make somebody run mad, and if somebody takes drug, it's poor, and the young person tells you that, look at that artist that is
And they're doing
on
well,
stage,
Yes.
seemingly.
puffing weed. That's his car. I heard he has about 5 cars.
He
So
looks
what are
very
you saying?
successful. So, what exactly are you
so
saying?
what are you talking about? So that's why that's not the right way to put it across. It's about just teaching them skills and let them know, and then maybe probably later you let them know about the health implication. Because like this crystal meth we are talking about, it affects organs in the body.
Yeah.
Things like the brain, the kidney. It affects the brain, the kidney, and the heart, and it also affects the teeth and the skin, and of course, it can destroy the body immune system.
Wow. So if I may step in, or do you want to go?
No,
first?
go ahead.
Okay, if I may step in, do you think, you've talked about the fact that peer pressure also contributes to drug abuse, but there have been cases of individuals. For example, we had the popular musician DMX at the time, God bless his soul. He was introduced to drug and by his mentor. So what is the role of mentorship in introduction to drugs? Because there have been cases of individuals who have been introduced to
there
drugs
was a time,
by the mentors.
I have a musical history. Most of these stars, some of them are peer pressure into taking drugs. Some are stylishly put into drugs. I had my own experience. For instance, if an artist have a 40-city show concert to play,
It's a lot to deal with.
like every 2 days there's a show. He's not a machine. He's going to break down. And the artist might not be using drug. And it's possible that the person that is in charge might not want him to know that he wants him to use drug. So they can simply put in something, food, drink, and
Just
all
sip.
that. Yeah, sip and
Sip
all
it
that.
in.
Then maybe later, they will now stylishly let him know that, man, you've been doing this. But before they do that, already he's hooked.
Yeah.
And once you are hooked, there's nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? So even the mentor to the protege, I still think it's pressure. It's peer pressure. It's peer pressure, you understand? But the thing is this. Any person that goes into drug is because there is something bothering his mind that he needs to subdue or suppress. And once drugs is suggested, okay? We've seen married women that are having marriage problems can easily be introduced to drugs. If a married woman come and say, I'm having sleepless night, I can't sleep, my husband is doing this. It depends on who
Why
she's
didn't our
talking to.
mothers do that?
Your mother doesn't know about drugs.
They did it. I know one woman when I was
Did they know about
back in the
drugs?
days.
Of course.
I know one woman when I was.
There have
What
been
drugs did
cases.
they
You
know
don't-
about?
They know about.
Issy,
Keji, when I was young, I don't know if we have Ebelechukwu
Yeah, but
back
we
now on Zoom. Please just let me know when he's back. When I was young, there was a woman I know, she used to dry guava leaves. Then, she had marital issues, so she would just dry the leaves and grind them into powder, wrap them in paper, and that's all she would smoke from morning to night. So it's not a function of, they used to do all of those
have
things. It's just that
different,
it was not, yes, it's just that the
mechanisms.
kind of drugs
It's
that was
evolved over
available
time.
at that time is not as deadly, as dangerous as this
Anyway,
drug.
I wasn't
Can I shock
exposed
you?
to women that were taking it
Can
at
I
the
shock
time.
you? What about women that have marital issues that maybe when they are going shopping, they will first branch a beer parlor, enter through the back door, and order a stout until.
That's called calming nerves.
It's all the same
Now
thing.
listen,
It's called calming
it's
nerves.
the same thing.
Listen, my sister, I'm a drug therapist. In the world of drug treatment, alcohol is called the mother drug or the gateway drug.
Wow.
Meaning what? If you start taking alcohol, okay,
Anything else can follow.
Anything can follow. Depends on the situation on ground. If there's a major crisis, somebody will tell you,
You need
drink.
something
and
stronger.
you said, this thing is not doing anything.
not
So, okay,
working
why
for
don't you
me.
try this? This is how it works. This is how it works.
Wow, like when Keji was talking, I just remembered back in the days when we were into outreaches that we were doing, and sometimes you're doing these things, you don't know the impact of part of what Isi was saying, mentorship, young people being able to see people that are examples that they can really emulate.
Yep.
The problem, and I'm bringing it back to you, could the problem be that there are few examples of success for people who are not seemingly using drugs. So the young people, can it be part of the problem where we do not have enough mentors who are showcasing probably the right way to do things? So now they're exposed more to people who are doing these things, and it looks as if they are successful in what they're doing.
Okay, the problem is this. The system we live in, okay, it is like once you are successful, you know, financial-wise, material-wise, it does not matter who you are or what you do. So we have a way of projecting successful people. And these successful people have a way of displaying the negative things they do. Okay? I mean, I'm a billionaire and I'm puffing weed, okay? And I'm saying that it inspires me. All the teenagers watching that, it sinks into their mind that this thing inspires people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think they are showcasing more of negative role models than positive. Not caring about their lifestyle, but about what they have achieved, or what they do, what they have achieved.
Okay, so let's come back to the business of drugs.
Okay.
Because, I mean, somebody has even sent a message on that.
Okay.
The business of drugs.
Okay, business.
We cannot not talk about the fact that drug is a booming business.
All right.
So who are the people that we should be pursuing if we truly want to curb illicit drugs in Nigeria? Because it's not coming from the sky, Keji. I mean, a guy was caught at the airport. I think it was in Abuja. We took the story last week.
Huge kilos, yes.
It was worth 1.7 billion worth of cocaine. Right? Is it me that buys cocaine?
Okay.
I don't even have money to drink water. Is cocaine I'll be buying. Do you understand? So let's talk about the business of this thing. Who are the gatekeepers of this business?
Okay,
and how can we fight it from that angle?
If you are going to talk about the business of drugs, I will not use Nigeria. I will use a popular country.
Mexico?
Yeah, not Mexico. The other one, where
Cuba,
where this guy came from. What's his name again?
Escobar.
Okay, you know, now they used to say cocaine is a millionaire's game. So it's not for the poor people.
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately in Nigeria, what we see are these boys at the bus stops, these area boys and all that smoke, they're breaking bottles and whatever. But I'll tell you, if you go to our 5-star hotel right now, there are top men right in those hotels, blowing the pipe, you know, using bunkers and whatever, spending dollars. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so it's $1 million business. Okay, we also know how powerful Escobar became in Mexico.
Yeah.
So much that even politicians,
They were afraid.
They were afraid. Why? He could fund them. And you know the game of politics. The game of politics is money.
Yes.
Okay, I want to run. I don't have money.
Election.
You are a baron. You are ready to pump money into my whatever.
I'll give you free reign.
I give you free reign. Okay. I promise you, if I come into power, you are secured. Do you understand? I mean, these guys they are catching at the airport with $1.something billion. Are they the one that finance the business? No, they are just they are just carriers. They just carriers.
They're pawns, actually.
Okay, so the real people are not being arrested and whatever. So it still boils down to corruption. It still boils down to people thinking too much about money and power. And they don't care whether people's lives are being destroyed.
You know what? Let's just take a very short break. We'll just go out and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat with Keji. Hopefully, we'll be able to find Ebelechukwu back on curbing the high rise of illicit drugs in Nigeria. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So, I think we have Ebele. Ebele, are you back?
Yes, I've been back a long while.
Oh,
I've been
wow.
following up.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't notified. So please just quickly run us through what is happening in the East, because we saw that report. It was quite alarming for us. And, what exactly and how do we even start to curb this menace?
I think in the East, we've been able to come to terms that this is a scourge. This is like a plague. And if urgent drastic measures are not taken, this scourge is likely to consume us all. Bearing that in mind, away from all the grammar and the beautiful talks, in the East here, we've been able to, in our very localities, little hamlets, in the villages, in the towns, come up with ways some people might disagree with, but I guarantee you it has been so far so good, been very, very effective in reducing drastically the intake of these drugs. And yeah, that's it. For example, here we'll get people, tie them to the poles, flog and shame them. A lot of people has come out to say this is not the best practices, and this won't even get any desired result. But I am seeing this having desired results, and I think if we sustain the tempo and the momentum, in a short while, in no long distant time, we'll make serious headways. Then again, talking about these drugs, it doesn't fall from the sky. I keep asking myself, how is it that meth, crystal meth, is easily accessible even to teenagers, if not toddlers? They access it as easily as one can access vitamin C. It means that some gatekeepers, people who are supposed to make sure that our streets are not littered with drugs, have compromised. They have really compromised, and we've no option than to do whatever we can to help ourselves and save our future, because the youths are the greatest asset of every society. If you want to see a society that will make it great, just you don't need no soothsayer, just look at their youth. If their youths are focused, if their youth are hardworking, they are resoap. But if their youths are wayward, come on, then it means that society is definitely going down the drain. I welcome everything.
Can you hear me?
Everything.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ebelechukwu,
yeah.
can I pause you for a minute? I'm still in shock that you think fighting drug use means you have to tie them to a pole. I want to be sure I heard you correctly. You tie them to a pole and you flog them. Is that a solution?
You heard me perfectly well and unapologetic about this, because I want to tell you something. I've been for 3 years now. We've been blowing grammar, speaking English about all these things. Come on, and of course we also have to look at this way. All the tobacco companies, they tell you smokers are liable to die young and stuff like that. People still smoke themselves to hell. Of course, and it's not going down anytime soon. Now, let me tell you something. I keep saying, listen to me. I keep saying that the solution to Africa's problem must be indigenous. The way Americans fight drug abuse is or is definitely not going to work here. So the sociology is what apart. And I've seen this and it is working. I've seen a lot of people.
So I like to, but let me bring in someone that has been through 15 years of drug addiction.
I listen to him.
Hold on, let me bring him in. He's been Keji was involved in drugs for 15 years, and for 27 years now he's been helping people come out of drug addiction. Can tying to a pole and flogging solve any problem that has to do with drug use?
Now let me put it like this. if a drug abuse advocate hear you say this,
Wow.
there's going to be issue.
Absolutely.
Okay? Number two, when you tie them and you flog them, remember, I said people go into drugs because of psychological problems. Tying them to a pole and flogging them is another level of psychological problem. It's another level because you are reducing them to animals.
Absolutely.
It's not acceptable. Now, how do you get people out of drugs? We have two ways. There is the psychotherapy, or what we call the talk therapy, where the addict goes through counseling.
Yes.
It's professionalism. I have run a rehab as a project director for 12 years now. For those 12 years, I've seen about 220 drug addicts set free. Some back to school, some working, some are married, some are in ministry. We don't flog, we don't tie down. A drug addict, every drug addict at a point knows that he wants to stop. The problem is that when drug addiction has taken over the reward system of your brain, you don't know how to stop. You can't help yourself. So what we do is that before we can admit you, we must find out if you need help. Because let me tell you, tie them to stake, flog them.
Still find a way.
Okay. By the time you release them,
you go back.
There's what we call relapse.
Yes, and
They
it
are
will be
going to
worse.
relapse.
It would be bad.
So, somebody actually called me. Somebody had read Stambik when this report came out. An Igbo guy. He knew when I registered Global Center for Drug Eradication 2012. So he was saying, what do we do in the East? There are some youths, whatever. What do you think we can do? And I told him we're going to talk about it. What you need, sir, is collaboration to set up mega drug rehabilitation centers.
Across the board.
Then we are able to train workers and staffs. It will first of all provide job opportunities for people, in rehab, okay? And then it will be a decent place where people are talked out of drugs. So psychotherapy talks people out of drugs. There are people that don't need to go to rehab. There are a couple of people that I just sat down, especially students, and I talked to them one-on-one, counseling for 2 months, twice every week. And before you know it, one of the days they just come and start crying that I didn't know that this thing is wrong. I'm not going to do it again. Okay? Then those ones have not gone too deep. There are those that have gone too deep that will tell you, I don't know what to do. Then we ask, do you need help? Or are you coming because your mom says you should come? Or you say, no, I am tired. We ask them, what's your problem? You say, I am not progressing. I say, what do you think caused this? You say, I know it's because I'm taking drugs. So do you want to stop? Yes, okay. I'm going to help you. But I need your help too. You give me 100% cooperation. And that's all. We admit them into the rehab.
And begin
3 months.
Sessions with them.
Ours is a faith-based rehab. Most rehabs in America is not faith-based. They give them certain medications. This one, we allow the drugs to get out of your system. A form of detoxification, naturally. Okay? Then after detoxification, we go to the second stage, where we start to build their mind. Because a drug addict has a negative mindset. Number one, a drug addict believes that he's the only one that exists. Number two, he doesn't care about any other person, whether you are feeling pain. Number three, everybody must give him money, whether you like it or not.
do anything.
You can do everything. Everybody must support me. So we now talk them out of that. Then after that, those who can go back to school, go back. Those who can go back to school that have advanced in age, we take them to go and learn skills.
Let me pause you there and I want to come back to Ebelechukwu. Ebelechukwu, the young people in your community, right? How are they engaged? Because you see, another thing that causes this menace to grow bigger is joblessness. A lot of people are just there on the streets, not doing anything. So what is the situation in terms of engagement for these young people? Because even if you tie them to a tree and tomorrow they're sitting down not doing anything, they'll still go right back. Sure. So what are you putting in place for that?
Okay. Before I will go back to that, I believe I was cut short because I know what I'm saying. I've seen these steps. I've seen the steps we are taking give us massive results, massive, awesome results. And like I said, this is a sociological thing. Before we embark on this, we've tried numerous approaches, sending people to rehab, spending a whole lot of money. Most times they come back and relapse into disuse. And I've seen many people who are empowered through various youth empowerment schemes. Let me tell you something. Last August, that's a few months away from today, we gathered a lot of these youths who keep on saying that they are doing drugs because they are not gainfully engaged. We took most of them to acquire some sort of skills. Some learn how to barb, some learn welding, and some other things. Well, it is heart-wrenching that after committing so much energy and resources, 60% of these people went back to sell all the instruments and equipment they were set up with. It is heartbreaking, it is heart-wrenching. There, it takes you back. We have something, we have this thing we say in Igbo, Ejidere onye ori, ọsọ nke awumbea. When you catch a thief, he or she will start begging and say, this is my first time. Addicts will always want to resort to self-pity, to elicit pity. Addicts will always do that. And mind you, I've seen Keji now talk a lot about negative influence, where we have the celebrities and whatnot celebrating drugs. In Anambra here, it is even worse because almost 60% of upcoming artists, upcoming artists have nothing to sing about but glorify drugs. It is a menace. I'm telling you, glorify drugs. It is a menace, and we are faced with two menaces. Trying to discourage toddlers into coming into this, and I must be frank with you, there are addicts who have been lost, who are totally lost. They don't want to be saved, and you can do nothing about them. We cannot continue indulging them. We cannot.
Let's take some comments.
You asked me a question. Okay.
Sorry, let's take some comments quickly. Somebody on Instagram says, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have this one from Bobby Kennedy in Jalingo, Taraba State, and he says, this deadly scourge of drug abuse amongst our youths is alarming, and if some drastic action is not taken to cut down these menaces, then we don't know. I weep for the youths that are growing up in Nigeria. In fact, some have taken drugs as a lifestyle. We must put on eagle's eyes on our kids, please. God help us all. That's from Bobby.
Curbing the high rise of illicit drugs in Nigeria. This is from Isaac Olatunde Olubowale. He says, curb the merchants of illicit drugs, then we will be on the right track of dealing meaningfully with the problem. Thank you.
Yeah, so drug taking deceived a blood-hungry cop to sniff out a young man, Oliver Ezra, in Jalingo last week. When the cop was nabbed, 2 wraps of Indian hemp was found in his pocket. It's just terrible that many have taken drugs into lifestyle. May God help our children. Parents must keep an eagle eye on their kids. Please, on their kids. That's also from Bobby Kennedy from Jalingo. Yeah. You want to quickly respond to this because I think we've run out of time.
Okay, number one, you don't empower a drug addict to go and learn a job or whatever. You must first of all get him out of drugs. That's the first thing, get them out of drugs. Number 2, you don't send a drug addict to a rehab. The drug addicts tell you, I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay? Because if you send him without him saying, I am ready, it's a waste of energy. It's going to be a waste of resources. On the 18th of December, I'll be in Umuahia. There's a young boy that was on drugs, a bishop's son from the east, that I took into the rehab 4 years ago. He dropped out of school. As I speak with you, he went back to school. He graduated, and he went to the Bible school, got another degree, and then he's the director of a Montessori school right there now, and he's getting married.
Wow.
Clean, I can give you numbers. So, what I'm saying is this. What that guy commented, I've always said that. I said, it is not the drug user that is the problem. It's the people selling and buying. But when you decide to stop the people buying and selling, you discover that they are the people that you cannot step on. That is the issue on
That's
ground.
the problem.
So it is deep. There are people you can't step on. There are people in charge. But until that is done. So if you kill a product, then there'll be no problem. If drug is not available, people won't smoke. But drugs are everywhere in Nigeria.
Very true.
I'm not sure you read in the papers a few weeks ago how they said some Mexican cartels are the ones sponsoring methamphetamines laboratories in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Did you see that article? So what are you talking about? It's everywhere. All right? So deal with those merchandising it, okay?
And you call
Help those who are using it.
And prevent others.
And prevent others from going in. So it's three ways. Prevent others. Prevent, in all of this, the government should be involved. The government should be involved.
Yeah, because
you can imagine, I offer myself to be going to schools to teach. Some years ago, my state government gave me permission to go to schools. They say for 2 years, I will renew the paper. After 2 years, I came back. They just withdrew the paper. I can't go. There are some schools that don't want to see me, but there are some that want to see me. Okay?
Ebele, let me come to you. Flogging and tying people to poles. God help us. Drug abuse is a really big problem. This is from someone from, I think, May 4 Cat Mary from Instagram. Ebele, if you had one thing to say to the young person in the Igbo community right now, what would you be saying? You know, how would you address this? How can we move forward from here quickly in 1 minute?
I will simply say drug use, and again, to discourage the use of drugs. If you don't want to be publicly shamed and flogged, then don't do drugs. We have to be mindful of the fact that we don't have to make this thing rosy. We have to discourage toddlers who look up to celebrities celebrating drugs. When they see how addicts are treated, they won't even go into drugs first because they don't want to get treated that way. So it's also a serious preventive measure. We are looking at all these things being equal. It's a drastic measure.
We need to bring you back. Ebele, I like the fact that you are standing your ground on this shaming. But you see, you can only shame. I keep saying that you cannot shame the shameless. No, because that's anybody that knows.
If you think they are shameless, you are yet to see the way we treat them. If you're shameless, we go manufacture shame and put it on you. And you become so shame. I'm telling you what we are doing. What is giving us so much results?
Okay.
I see.
I would like, you know what, Ebele, behind
cameras.
Behind cameras, I would like to see the measure of your success. You know, we'll need to bring you back. This one is just the beginning. It's part one. We just started a love relationship, me and you. We're going to bring you back. I want to really see, when you say you are measuring success, I want to see how successful this is.
Of course.
With stories to back it up.
You see a whole lot and you'll be shocked.
No problem. Thank you. Ladies, do you want to have, we have 1 second to go.
This is something that needs to be dealt with.
Absolutely.
And with all level of seriousness, and hopefully we'll be able to do something about it in Nigeria.
Easy, quickly.
It has been a mind-blowing experience today, and I've learned a lot in the process. And one thing that I can agree with, I don't agree with the fact that you have to flog, but I agree with the fact that, you know, you have to use draconian methods. And I think that's what Ebele is talking about.
Sure.
And We also have the soft method that can also work for individuals who are willing to actually make that change. And mindset. If I'm ready to change, then I can let go of drugs.
So quickly, you have one minute. Keji,
this is what I said to addicts. You can't kill drugs. Drug always kill.
Yes.
At the end of the day. So don't do drugs. You can't kill drugs. Drug always kill. Everyone taking drugs, go and do a medical checkup of your system. You'll be sure. There might be something wrong with your liver. There might be something wrong with your lungs. There might be something wrong with your kidney. There might be something wrong with your heart. And even your brain.
It eats.
Yes.
You know what? So on that note, on that very sober note, we need to bring Ebele and Keji back. This cannot stop. So do ensure you follow us on Instagram. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Ebele. Thank you, Keji. Do ensure you follow us on Instagram. Drop a comment, and more importantly, we have started a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Ways brand and following the conversations. I don't know if you have anyone that is into drugs or is addicted to alcohol or whatever. Reach out to us. We'll link you up to Keji, so he can help you out. Please ensure you follow us on Instagram to grab all the goodies up for grabs. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. The mentality and behavior of drug addicts and alcoholics is wholly irrational until you understand that they are completely powerless over their addiction, and unless they have structured help, they have no hope. This is the fact that flogging and all those things might not work because they are helpless, right? We need to find a structured way to help. Now, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.